got a few things to catch up on. So let's get straight into it. Let's see who's in the chat. Hey Veronica, hey Cookies and Cream, hey Himmy Van. Hey Fancy, hey Lottie. Hey Dolores. Hey Southern Belle. Hey Janice. All right. First things first. Let's see what we have. Okay, yeah, let's start with this, because what even is this? Stalkers will literally go to whole other countries. You know, if you are a person who has a very magnetic energy, you got to be careful in this life. Like, you don't have to be a whole royal duchess for people to be kooky caca crazy. So apparently the Derengers are trying to infiltrate this event. They had Meghan's mole, who's been exposed many times. She is she is very obsessed with Meghan. Like, she is. Sometimes with these trolls, there's different types of them. There are the ones who have joined the Meghan hate train and are making tens of thousands online. But outside of the making money, they don't actually care, as in, like they don't obsess over Meghan personally. It's just a money making thing. And then you've got a different type of troll who has a dangerous parasocial relationship with Meghan, where they feel personally afflicted by her. So these are like the Angela Latrine types, because Angela Latrine, she doesn't really even make a lot of money. So she's a poor ass troll. And then you've got another type of troll. Sometimes they overlap, but then you get another type of troll who actively seeks to get near Harry and Meghan. So whoever that weirdo was who tried to get close to Harry during the court case, and he was there in the courthouse. There was the one in New York who was outside Meghan's hotel and she yelled charlatan duchess. There was one, I think she got charged with some kind of charge, but it came out that she had a previous firearms charge, which is what was even more interesting about that was that this was a British woman, and it's very difficult to get firearms in the UK. And then there was another one who actually threatened, she wanted to get close to Meghan to puncture her stomach when she was pregnant. So there's been a few of these over the years. And I do believe that Harry and Meghan's people likely have some kind of list, like watch list. But I also hope with that watch list, there is a solid action plan, because some of these trolls, if given the chance, would bring physical harm to Harry, Meghan, and their children, and that risk goes up when either one of them are to show up at an event and the time and the place is known beforehand. And especially at an event like this, where you are literally paying for access. And the obsession is so bad that they would likely be willing to spend thousands of pounds. There's an interesting phenomenon in Korea. I forget the name, but there's a very particular type of name for very, very obsessive fans who are like obsessed with their favorite K-pop fans. My sister got really into K-pop and BTS, and she was telling me all about this, how they will literally even, try to find out where the person's staying in their hotel, all go through all types of crazy things. It becomes their life. So this is what this Meghan's mole wrote on Twitter. She wrote, just in case if Meghan Markle didn't despise me enough, she's about to hate me even more. I hatched a plan with a friend who lives in Sydney to attend the best life we can. They have been accepted and a spot is secured. Good luck figuring out who it is. She then goes on to say, now that they've been accepted, let the games begin. One user predicted Meghan would have to cancel the event or pull out of her appearance due to security concerns combined with poor ticket sales. There are no poor ticket sales. And you know what? I think it's an absolute travesty that the Daily Fail would report on something that Meghan's mole said, when it's the Daily Fail that feeds into the mental illness of people like Meghan's mole. They are partially the reason these Frankensteins, these Frankenstein obsessive trolls have been created in the first place. And here they are reporting on it instead of actually calling it out. But of course they wouldn't, because the Daily Fail is the biggest troll. And I'm pretty sure that even the Daily Fail and some of these other tabloids have tried to get somebody into this event. They're willing to send Jan Moore on a £2,000 return ticket, and goodness knows how much it would have cost for hotel, car hire for her to be there to go and look at Meghan's £24 jam. Do I think it's so outlandish that they would try to get somebody to go all the way to Australia just to try and get into this event? No. And it's such a shame, because I would love to see Meghan do more stuff like this, and people who actually love Meghan would love for her to do more things like this. But they just have to be so careful. Because you just don't know what crazy fools are out here lurking around. It's actually just insane. Now, I have to say, I hope that they are taking this seriously, but I actually don't believe Meghan's mole. I don't believe it. I don't believe that she has a so-called friend in Australia, and I don't believe that so-called friend has $3,000 lying around. She has been exposed. Apparently they had to take her kid away from her because she's so obsessed. Issues in her relationship, or failed relationship rather. So do I believe that she just randomly has some friend all the way over in Australia? I don't know if I believe that. I don't even know if I believe that this lady has ever probably traveled further than Mexico or Canada her entire life. She seems like the type of person who would avoid traveling because she has very ignorant ideas about other countries. So I doubt that she has a so-called friend all the way over in Australia. I don't believe it. I think this is an intimidation tactic. And I hope that some kind of plan is in action. Like if they're at this event and some lady starts dropping shady comments or just acting weird, then you know that there's someone who's a crazy hater in that room. But I'm really glad that they had a process to actually screen who got accepted and who didn't. Dear oh dear. Kat Harlem, I see you dropped a super chat. Thank you so much. You said, hello, Anna Squaddies. I'm going to take this opportunity to pat myself on the back. I've lost 45 pounds and have 45 more to reach my goal. Good for you, Kat Harlem. Health is wealth. Health is wealth, and well done to you. It's not easy to lose weight, and it's also not easy to keep it off. Oh, I hope you lot were able to hear me just then, because I feel like my laptop keeps glitching. Oh, is Rahini in the chat? Hey, Rahini. Lovely to see you. Also, Kathy G, thank you so much for being a member for 48 months. So glad that you had a fantastic Easter. Appreciate you so much. Okay. Let's get on to the next thing. Yes. It was the usual Easter service where the royals go. I'm surprised that William and Kate didn't combust on the way in, because what these people are hiding, what they've been covering up, chosen by God, absolutely not. But angering the Lord, for sure. And then having the audacity to walk into his house on Easter Sunday. Like they don't know what filthy nonsense that they are hiding. And a lot of people have been asking, a portion of the world is burning right now. Why is it important, and why is it a headline that the royals went to church? The adults at least should actually be walking into a courthouse and answering questions about what they knew about Epstein and Andrew. There were some boos, by the way. And you look at this picture and you just think, what are these people? You know, you go on a date with someone and you're quietly asking in your mind, what does this person bring to the table? These people are the most privileged and protected people in the country. What are they bringing to our table? I mean, what do you feel when you look at this? Do you feel inspired? Do you feel... I mean, I don't feel anything. Like, what are these people doing for the British public? Like, this is not wartime Britain anymore. All of that kind of, I think they're still very much in this mindset that their presence just, it brings inspiration and life to the public. And this whole idea of, when I think, for example, of patriotism, there's many different things that I think about. I think about the incredible athletes that we have, the music talent that we have, the literary talent that we have. I mean, the United Kingdom is it's a beautiful place. There's so much nature. Like, when I think about what makes me feel patriotic as a British person, I'm sorry, but I think about many, many, many things. Not the royal family. Not this. So what place does this have in 2026? I don't know. Clearly, this is doing something for someone. But for the majority of the public, well, I mean, the polls, the actual polls, are beginning to speak for themselves. Anyway, this gentleman right here, somebody please help me with his name. It's something Dimly. Anyway, he's a commentator, and he was talking about the trip with Charles and Trump and just how out of place it is. Literally, in the last few hours, the orange nut job tweeted an entire civilization would die. This is in relation to Iran. The sitting president of the United States put out that an entire civilization would die. That's what he just tweeted in the last few hours. And Charles is on his way to go and shake this fool's hand. This dangerous fool's hand. Still. I've got no doubt at this point that this entire trip is just to get some kind of deal to protect Andrew. Because given what Trump just tweeted in the last few hours, if there was anything that was going to stop this trip, it should have been that. And also, they are trying to sell this trip as some kind of soft diplomacy that Charles is going to whisper something in Trump's ear and stop him from continuing all of this dangerous clownery, this train wreck that we're on, and that the whole world is getting pulled into. This entire trip is self-serving, and it was never acceptable that Charles was going anyway. But if he goes after what Trump just tweeted in the last few hours, I hope we start having talks about what place the monarchy has. Serious talks. Let's play what this guy said.
State banquet while he's bombing the hell out of Iran and people are dying all over the Middle East, a state banquet for the king? Really? No. It would have been appropriate, I think, to have said, quite simply to the president, through the usual channels, look, this is probably not quite the right moment for the king to come here. Let's postpone it. You know, Trump says the war's over, but we know it's not over. Let's postpone it until things quieten down.
But do you think...
to go in the middle of this war is a mistake. State banquet while he's bombing the hell out of Iran and people are dying all over the Middle East, a state banquet for the king? Really? No. It would have been appropriate, I think, to have said, quite simply to the president, through the usual channels, look, this is probably not quite the right moment for the king to come here. Let's postpone it. You know, Trump says the war's over, but we know it's not over. Let's postpone it until things quieten down.
But do you think...
to go in the middle of this war is a mistake. State bank...
Let's have a look at your comments. Hi everyone, if you're just streaming in, thank you so much for joining us. Electra, you said Meghan's mole wants to make sure the event is cancelled to cause chaos. Yeah. Wendy, you said Harry and Meghan's security detail are retired Secret Service agents. After the New York car chase, they are not taking any chances with these Derengers. I can imagine not. But with the car chase, that was a slightly different beast, I would say, because that was the paparazzi. So the paparazzi are dangerous and thirsty, but their mentality and end goal is slightly different from these trolls. The paparazzi want their pictures. These trolls want to literally be the one to be holding the blade and physically do something to Harry and Meghan. Helen, you said, if there is anything suspicious or unruly behavior, the authorities will be on it. I bet this Meghan's mole is all bluster. It's nothing but a keyboard warrior. Indeed. But the fact that it's been so many years and this Meghan's mole lady persists, it's consumed her entire life. Meghan consumes her entire life. So I hope she's on a watch list. I hope she's on a no-fly list. Very strange behavior. And, you know, especially after this whole incident with Rihanna, these people, if they don't get help, it gets worse and worse and worse, because it's been years now. At what point does she stop? I don't think she will stop unless she is stopped. I actually do think that there should be laws where at a certain point, if you have been obsessing over someone and you have shown that you are dangerous, like, you need to be sectioned or something. Because right now, the law says in most places, if a stalker has not physically done anything to you, then the police can't do anything, which is just ridiculous. It shouldn't have to get to the point where somebody has physically done anything to you, because when a stalker is this obsessive, doing something to you is literally going to be to unalive you. So they need to really have a look at these laws and really put victims first. I've even seen cases where the stalker will come, be breaking down the door, showing up to the person's workplace, and still nothing is done by the police. I saw one girl, an American girl, who went on a date with a guy. She ended up actually having to move all the way to Bali. She's out here in Bali somewhere, where I am. Because and she was stalked for years. And the guy even busted down her door. So now the only way that she escapes him is by moving to another country. And thank goodness he's been put on a no-fly list. But heck, the way these stalkers are so crazy, no-fly list only applies to getting on a plane. Goodness knows, he might even try to get on a cruise ship or... Ugh. There needs to be better laws, is all I'm trying to say. Let's have a look at this. I believe that Australia is watching and waiting. I do believe they know what's going on. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think it's all fluff, but you just can't take any chances. Especially now with the internet, you know, it's hyper enhanced these parasocial relationships. So if the stalkers were crazy before the internet came along, they're real crazy now. B. Thomas, she said, I don't know why these folks go to church. I mean, it's so risky. It's so risky. Our God is a forgiving God, and that's why they don't combust the moment they walk through the doors. They don't believe in mankind. They only think that people are there to serve them. Indeed. Literally said Charles deserves to be around Trump. They are both garbage, indeed. But Charles is monarchy garbage, and he should not be there. Lottie, can't Harry and Meghan take these children to court for harassment? Well, as I just explained, the law just does not recognize this in a more efficient way. So no, unfortunately, they cannot. A stalker can literally bust down your door right now, but they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything physically to you. So they may get some kind of charge for it. And if that happens, they may get some kind of charge for property damage, which is a very minor charge, which will probably be a slap on the wrist. But the law still will not recognize that this person is a danger to you. That's how crazy it is. And I can't help but feel that part of the reason there are such lax laws is because the majority of victims tend to be women. Helen, you said it's a shame these Derengers can't be shipped to Mars and left there to combust. That'll be way too much money to ship them to Mars. They need to just be put in some prison island somewhere. All right, next thing. In more positive news. Yes. It was the Easter weekend, and Meghan posted these very sweet, they're actually videos of Archie and Lily, who are getting very big and very tall. It has become very apparent that pink is indeed our favorite princess's color. That dress sold out, by the way. And Archie painting eggs. Archie can ski. Archie can surf. I'm gonna place bets on him being an athlete. I think that's my bet. Lily, I'm not sure, but Archie, I think my guess will be he'll become an athlete. And it's just nice to see the kids living as normal lives as they can, given the circumstances around them and their parents. And not this circus show that being a royal child, used to be, and it used to be a lot worse. Still is a bit for the ones who are still in the institution as it is now, but nothing compared to what it used to be. An absolute clown show and mentally damaging for any child in this institution. And I believe, yeah, this is definitely taken at their home. And I remember from their Harry and Meghan documentary, them having like the family Easter hunt. So very sweet pictures. Um, Mina, you said, oh, I already said in a group that if these Derangers come to the retreat acting a damn fool, Squaddies, Harry Meghan supporters will jump them. Indeed. Indeed. I am not for drama, except for when a Deranger gets involved. Then I'm all for drama. Jump them. Jump them immediately. Jump them immediately. Do not hesitate, Squaddies. If you see anything fishy that makes you think there's something wrong, jump them. Jump them all. And actually, don't just jump them, film them as you jump them. So we have footage of the culprits. Archie and Lily broke the internet, and the UK media attached those mediocre roles to the Sussex Kids articles. Indeed. Because they had nothing else to write about. The other royals went to church, and so what? And so what? I mean, like I said, I don't think that I don't think there should be any type of obsession over any royal children, but given that Harry and Meghan are doing such a good job of protecting their children's privacy, there is an increased level of interest in Archie and Lily. Especially, and then to add to that, part of the interest was actually created by the other royals themselves with their weird behavior, wondering about these children's skin tone, behaving as if trying to erase their presence. They actually created more of the interest of these kids. There's actually a word for this, a German word, I forget it, where you try to erase something or someone, but then they get more attention in the end. I mean, the joke's on the other royals. They really didn't want these babies to be breathing. Whether it was the way they treated their mother when she was pregnant, it's taken away their security when they were in a vulnerable place, and now it is the most anticipated royal picture what these kids look like. This is how you just dig a grave for yourself if you're so consumed by jealousy. Helen, you said, if you look closely, Archie has freckles on his nose. Oh, really? I did not notice that. Wouldn't surprise me, Meghan has freckles. So they got Harry's ginger hair. And Archie's looks a bit darker than Lily's. And Mummy's cute freckles. Adorable. Rini, you said, I love when Tyler Perry said, you will never see what my son looks like until he's about 21. Just because they are public figures does not mean you have the right to their kids. Exactly. Exactly. And while they're kids, it's very easy to keep them hidden. Yeah, I'm just glad that Archie and Lily are nowhere near the Vipers either. Because that institution, it crushes your soul as a grown adult. What more as a child? Lottie, you said, was Harry ever supposed to get married to anybody? Because everyone he came in contact with, they all was harassed. And did Harry know this? That he was not supposed to get married? Well, it would appear that the institution never wanted him to get married. They wanted him to be Harry the Playboy so they could use him as a beating stick to cover up for William's nonsense. Okay. Anyway, very sweet of Meghan to share that with us for Easter. Next, I didn't know that this was a thing. It was brought to my attention from a fellow, by a fellow squaddy on TikTok. This Miss Erica Christine, who makes really good videos on TikTok, by the way. Go and check her out. Apparently, back in 2016, there was a lady who taught 4-hour Marry Harry courses to help women prepare for a potential romantic encounter with Prince Harry, who was visiting Orlando, Florida for the Invictus Games. Maya is a dual American British citizen who was trained by a former member of the Queen's household staff. Now you see, no wonder they're so obsessed and angry with Meghan, because they believe that they should have been the one to marry Harry. Heck, they even had courses. Apparently, she founded Beaumont Etiquette and launched the Duchess Effect classes, covering topics such as formal dining, posture, and royal etiquette, inspired by Kate Middleton and Meghan. I mean, Meghan didn't have to go to no Marry Harry course, and she managed to get him. You know why? Because Meghan was a fully formed woman and accomplished. That's why she grabbed the prince. Not because she's, sat with her legs folded in a particular way and did all of this, fake posh stuff. I mean, I wonder how much they paid for this, because this was at quite a fancy place. It was at the Plaza Hotel in New York. Okay, so it's expensive enough to go to New York, or she had one of the etiquette classes in New York. It's expensive enough to be there. Then to rent out a room to host this particular class. She taught royal etiquette, including the Duchess slant and the Windsor wave, preparing women for high society romance. Oh, you can miss me with that. High society romance? Oh, you could miss me with that. I'd rather be single. Because if I had to go through what some of these women go through, just for some high society romance? What an absolute joke. And you have actually these women who invested in this class, they would have had more chance actually building wealth themselves than trying to get a prince. And mind you, Harry was the only decent prince laying around, and that still came with a hell of a lot of baggage. How sad. I mean, nothing wrong with leveling up. Heck, if there's anything we need in this sloppy society, it's manners, etiquette. But just to marry a prince, and then he didn't choose you anyway, and he never was going to, by the way. That's what really, really gets under their skin. Okay, next thing, Fergie. Fergie is someone who has truly lived a unique life. I'll just say it nicely. A unique life. And unfortunately for her, the train is on a slow collision course. So Fergie has apparently been dishevelled and Botox free in FaceTime calls with friends. She has now been missing for well over 3 months. She has not been photographed since December, at least according to British media. And there's nothing to say that they haven't put out a request that she's not photographed. She's reportedly spent time in Qatar and Switzerland, and there were rumours about Ireland, but no one could confirm. Let's just say that she is getting someone to help her, give her money. How long does this last? Because I think anybody at a certain point would just get sick of her. There's also speculation that Sarah jetted off to America that she's been couch hopping in LA. One of the most insane parts of this is that it's become glaringly obvious no one in the British media is really trying to track her down in wake of the Prince Andrew arrest. An entire national media would rather spend 90% of their time bashing Harry and Meghan from afar rather than do some investigative journalism to figure out where the Epstein associate might be. Well, the Mail had an update. Sarah has been Zooming with friends and she apparently looks like hell. Where is Fergie? Described as being on a secret sofa surfing tour, Fergie has apparently been staying at the homes of a succession of discreet, wealthy friends and remains in contact with a number of close allies through FaceTime calls. And the word they use to describe her is dishevelled. She hasn't been taking care of her roots or keeping up with her Botox. I mean, Botox is expensive and so is, managing the roots. Sightings have been made in several countries, but Fergie is dogged in her wish to stay under the radar. She really is low. She seems nervy, says a friend. The friend adds that she has 3 different mobile phones and is switching between them to try and evade detection. She has 3 phones and she goes crying through them because she's afraid that she might be tracked. She's convinced a lot of people wish her harm. Do you know what? She sounds paranoid. And she probably is. And paranoia can make people do some things. Listen, I don't like to there are some things that I just don't like to say out loud, even when it's somebody that I don't like, even when it's somebody that has done heinous things. But I'm just gonna say that I think this is gonna end very badly for Fergie. Because she sounds incredibly paranoid. She sounds desperate. And she is very delusional about herself and feels entitled that she should be protected just because, that she should be given luxuries and money just because. And I wonder when, right now, yes, there are probably associates that are helping her get around, giving her money, but eventually even they will get sick of her, because how long does that last before they say, now we've had enough? And it seems like, I mean, if Epstein himself could not quench Fergie's thirst for money and luxuries, I don't think anybody else will be able to. So there seems to be no in-person contact at all with the daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie, who, according to Vogue writer Plum Sykes, appeared looking glossy and glowy at the Cotswolds at a party last month, telling the assembled company that they were doing fine, despite speculation that Sarah might move in with Beatrice and her family in the Cotswolds. A friend says that her and Andrew are on speaking terms, but not talking that much. She complains a lot about being broke, saying, how am I going to get through this? Yeah, she's delusional. You're going to get through it the way most other normal people get through it. Buy some beans and porridge, my dear. She still has friends who are willing to help house her. A lot of people, including well-known people, are quietly still very loyal to her. Not that anyone is boasting about it at this point. One source said last month that she was hiding in the Wiltshire home of her old flame, Paddy McNally, now 88. She dated the former racing driver and spokesmotor executive for 3 years before marrying Andrew. And the pair have remained close friends despite their 22-year age gap. Fergie would no doubt be welcome to McNally's other homes in the Swiss ski resort, Verba, and in Saint-Tropez in the south of France. Oh. I think that Charles actually knows where she is. And that British intelligence are keeping a track of her. They would be. Because she's a loose cannon. Having said that, let me walk that back. I might actually have another theory. If Charles did actually know where she is, Charles may have leaked it by now. Or weeks or months ago. or made certain arrangements around her to threaten her safety and reveal her hiding place. And I think that perhaps a better theory might be that they know they're trying to track her, and she knows she is expendable to a lot of powerful people. I don't think that she's hiding from the media. I think she's hiding from the Windsors. I think she's hiding from Andrew's family. I think she's hiding from the police and intelligence agencies. And nobody wants to say that, even though it's so obvious. Now, do I think that Fergie was like directly hands-on involved with Epstein? No. Was she taking her money? Was she taking his money? Yes. And she may know more about Andrew's dealings and perhaps dealings concerning other victims. And Fergie and Andrew are perfectly positioned to be the four people for everybody else involved with Epstein. Everybody should go down, let me just say, everybody. But it would just appear between all of these powerful people, they're setting up Andrew to be the foreperson. And Fergie would naturally follow. I think it's obvious that the palace are not going to support her financially. And I think that's because they basically just want to smoke her out. I don't think that the palace could give two hoots if something happened to Fergie. And actually, I think William especially would love for Fergie and Andrew to be completely out of the picture. Rahini said, and notice how no one at their school has leaked a photo. That is how you know the Sussexes are surrounded by good people. Of course. I mean, listen, if they leaked a photo at the school, all of those parents in that private community would be pulling their children out of the school. These rich folks, they take their privacy very seriously. So it's very unlikely. And they've also, all of these rich folks in that community, what did they have to gain from leaking a picture of Harry and Meghan and all their kids? They're wealthy already. Mina, you said, I didn't know they have etiquette classes just to get a man letter and prince. Oh yes. Oh yes. All of these how to be an aristo. Oh yes. I mean, I think etiquette is very important and we're losing it. But thinking that you're going to take an etiquette class and get Harry? Are you for real? Rahini, you said there was a fake dating show similar to The Bachelor where they fooled a bunch of women into thinking they were going to marry Harry. Really? I must have missed that. Helen, you said whoever's keeping Fergie must be loaded, as Fergie is high maintenance and she spends money like water. Indeed. Rahini said Fergie is homeless since Andrew was out. She actually still kind of lived with him. No, I don't think she can live with Andrew anymore. I genuinely believe that she's trying to evade the authorities and the palace. And so if she went anywhere near Andrew and Andrew is currently under watch, they'd know exactly where she is. Literally said, why can't I get friends like Fergie? I'm broke. Well, you're broke, but you're not a royal. All right. All right, I'm going to end things there. Thanks so much, folks. I appreciate you so much. Electra, you said, why is Fergie hiding from the Windsors? Is she afraid to get the Diana treatment? Well, Fergie and Diana were very good friends. She lived through all of that. She knows how these people are. So indeed, she might want to stay away from tunnels. Alright folks, I'm going to wrap things up there. You enjoy the rest of your day. Please remember to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe button on your way out. Links in the description box if you would like to donate to the channel. It really helps keep everything going. Appreciate you all so much. See you later. Ciao.